Sam Elliott has spent more than 5 decades building one of the most respected careers in Hollywood. With his gravel-deep voice, weathered cowboy image, and quiet intensity, Elliott became the symbol of old-school masculinity at a time when the film industry was rapidly changing around him. Unlike many stars who chased headlines and controversy, Sam Elliott built his reputation on authenticity, discipline, and emotional restraint. He rarely played superheroes, flashy celebrities, or larger-than-life action icons. Instead, he became famous portraying flawed, grounded men who felt painfully real. But behind that calm and respectful public image was also a man with very strong opinions about Hollywood itself, especially the actors he believed represented everything wrong with the modern entertainment industry. Over the years, Elliott has subtly criticized performers he felt cared more about ego, celebrity culture, image management, or political performance than genuine storytelling. While he rarely attacked people directly by name, his interviews and comments made it increasingly clear that there were certain actors whose styles, personalities, and careers deeply irritated him. 1. Al Pacino. The problem with too much acting. One actor whose style reportedly clashed strongly with Sam Elliott's worldview was Al Pacino. While Elliott respected dedication to craft, he has always seemed deeply uncomfortable with performances that feel overly theatrical, emotionally explosive, or self-consciously intense. Pacino became famous through giant emotional performances filled with shouting, dramatic outbursts, and larger-than-life energy. To millions of fans, those performances were legendary, but Elliott reportedly viewed that style as the exact opposite of authentic acting. Throughout his career, Elliott consistently praised subtlety, restraint, silence, and emotional realism. He believed the strongest performances often came from what actors didn't say rather than what they screamed dramatically across the screen. According to people close to Elliott, he sometimes felt actors like Pacino turned scenes into personal showcases instead of collaborative storytelling moments. Elliott reportedly disliked the feeling that audiences were constantly being reminded they were watching great acting instead of simply believing the character naturally existed. For Elliott, acting worked best when it disappeared completely into realism. Pacino's huge emotional swings and theatrical energy reportedly felt too performative and ego-driven for Elliott's taste. Their divide represented something larger than personal dislike. It symbolized two completely different visions of masculinity and performance in Hollywood. One valued emotional force and dominance. The other valued quiet emotional truth. 2. Tom Cruise, the Hollywood machine. If Sam Elliott represented authenticity, rugged realism, and old-school acting values, then Tom Cruise represented almost the complete opposite version of Hollywood stardom. While Elliott reportedly respected Cruise's professionalism and incredible work ethic, he has also repeatedly criticized what modern celebrity culture turned actors into: polished corporate products designed for global branding rather than emotional honesty. Cruise became one of the most carefully controlled and commercially powerful stars in film history, building giant franchises and maintaining one of the most calculated public images Hollywood has ever seen. Elliott reportedly found that entire system deeply artificial. Throughout interviews over the years, Elliott often praised imperfect, human storytelling while criticizing how modern cinema increasingly prioritized spectacle, image management, and franchise branding over grounded performances. Many people interpreted those comments as indirect criticism towards stars like Cruise. Elliott came from an era where actors disappeared into characters and allowed flaws, vulnerability, and emotional messiness to remain visible. Cruise, meanwhile, built an empire around perfection, control, and larger-than-life blockbuster heroism. To Elliott, modern Hollywood increasingly felt less interested in truth and more obsessed with creating untouchable celebrity mythology. That polished perfection reportedly irritated him because he believed audiences connected more deeply with humanity than carefully manufactured heroism. 3. Sean Penn, the politics of ego. Another actor Sam Elliott reportedly struggled respecting was Sean Penn. Unlike Elliott's issues with overly theatrical acting or blockbuster celebrity culture, his discomfort with Penn reportedly centered more around personality and public behavior. Elliott has always carried himself with quiet professionalism and emotional restraint. He rarely inserts himself loudly into political controversies or uses outrage to generate attention. Penn, on the other hand, became famous not only for intense performances, but also for explosive interviews, activism, public feuds, arrests, confrontational behavior, and emotional unpredictability. According to industry insiders, Elliott reportedly viewed Penn as representing a type of Hollywood personality he fundamentally distrusted: actors who seemed addicted to conflict, self-righteousness, and public drama. Elliott reportedly believed many celebrities increasingly confuse performance with wisdom, using fame to position themselves as moral authorities rather than storytellers. While Penn built an identity around confrontation and controversy, Elliott preferred humility, silence, and letting the work speak for itself. Their divide reflected a deeper disagreement about what Hollywood actors should actually represent publicly. Elliott valued dignity and emotional steadiness. Penn often embraced chaos, confrontation, and emotional volatility. To Elliott, constant outrage and self-serious public activism sometimes felt less like authenticity and more like another form of performance. 4. Kevin Costner, the cowboy myth problem. Perhaps one of the most surprising rumored tensions involved Kevin Costner. On the surface, both men seemed incredibly similar. Both became strongly associated with Western storytelling, rugged masculinity, and old American values. But according to longtime Hollywood rumors, Elliott reportedly disliked what he viewed as Costner's overly romanticized approach to the American West and his increasingly self-important filmmaking style. Sam Elliott always approached cowboy characters with emotional realism, sadness, and vulnerability. His westerns often focused on aging, loneliness, regret, and the painful collapse of traditional masculinity. Costner, meanwhile, frequently portrayed the West through massive epics, sweeping symbolism, and mythic heroism. Elliott reportedly felt Costner sometimes treated Western storytelling like grand mythology rather than human experience. Some insiders even suggested Elliott believed Costner became too obsessed with presenting himself as a larger-than-life symbol of Americana, instead of remaining emotionally grounded. Elliott's entire career was built around authenticity and humility, while Costner's projects often carried enormous ambition and self-serious grandeur.